Alright, I'm live. So I'm going to spend the next 50 minutes doing this. Alright. So, we play on easy, which you can pick here. It means I'm new to shooters. But we have a save file, because it skips the opening cutscene, because nobody likes opening cutscene. So I'm just going to load from that point of the map. And 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so now we're in the water. Plane crashed. Yeah, that's all you need to know. Swim through some fire, that's the kind of guy I am. If you ever see fire on top of water, swim through it. You will not take damage. Guaranteed. So this is a lighthouse. It's pretty nice. Now we're gonna go inside the lighthouse. So spoopy. Gonna make our way down the steps. Didn't crash, that's good. It's a good sign. So we're gonna do our first little trick right here. Jump outside the bathysphere. Get up on top of it, because you know, that's just what happens when you jump. So doing this little trick to get us outside the bathysphere where we can't move at all, but we can look around, actually saves about 2 seconds. It's like 2.3. Because you hit the end of the level trigger faster. So now we're just gonna wait around for a little bit and look at some stuff.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers.
This is on low graphics settings, we'll get into that in just a little bit, but I need to play on extremely high FPS. So I lowered down the settings pretty much as the best I can. So I'm running at like an average of 600 to 700 FPS at any given time. Very important. Also, yeah, there's just buildings not there. There's missing textures. It's real nice. So you can see missing textures there. I guess you can't see them if they're missing. This is our good buddy Echo, the whale. It's real cute. And if we look behind us, he actually gets stuck. Right there. He's just stuck there forever. Poor Echo. Yeah, that's the whole first level of the game. Yay! So once this little cutscene's up, that's basically it for cutscenes in the game. If you've played through Bioshock, you might remember a few more. You're not going to see those. Hopefully. If everything goes right, you will not see those. I'm gonna grab this little radio. Okay. So now I just have to wait for this to open, and we can really start this thing. So now we are in Rapture, a very broken place. So we walk up here, jump over an invisible wall, which you don't really need to do, it's nice. Like that. You can just wait there and it doesn't really cost any time. Just gonna wait right here and pick up this wrench as soon as it becomes available. Real tough stuff right now. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna kill this splicer. Real difficult. Alright, time for tricks. Time to break the hell out of this game. So I'm gonna quick save just in case I mess it up. I need to save and use the menu at the exact same time. Or pick it up and make a save at the same point. Which allows me to gain movement back when I'm not supposed to. Jump away from where the game wants to drag me to start the cutscene. And I will have to jump for the entire rest of the level. Because the game is still trying to start the cutscene, but it can't do that until I'm back by the Gatherer's Garden. So now we're just going to make our way through the water. Hopping. Hop, hop, hopping. So you need to come over there to spawn in the splicer. There's different ways you can spawn them in, but this one is typically the fastest. Also, there's a book there. If you land on it, can like soft lock your game. Don't do that. Okay. So hopping makes it really, really annoying to get in this elevator. But we're gonna leave this splicer alive and hope he gets behind us. Because then he'll act as like a barricade from going backwards. So we're in the elevator now. Hey, thanks, buddy. For that, he gets to live. Oh wait, I can try to draw something here. Let's see. Not a great drawer. Not a great artist. It's a spider. There you go. So we want to grab the pistol up here. It's going to help us for a fight later on. She can die, it doesn't matter. So there's some spots on the floor, like where that wood is, that's incredibly hard to jump around. So you have to be really precise of where you're landing here. Alright, we want to go in the bathroom. So there's another cutscene up here, but I want to skip it. So like before, I'm just going to save and load. You can actually buffer a menu input when you save, which is kind of nice. So it takes away your weapons, but because we did the save and load, we can pull them right back out. You should always pull out. Okay. Jump over the railing. And having our wrench out allows us to break that early, which is pretty nice. Almost done with the hopping, I promise. One more fight. Okay, she needs to die. She is not dying. There we go. He really does not want to die? Okay. So I need to kill those two splicers, and then there's one in the bathroom I need to kill. Got him. Okay, whoop, that is not where I want to go. Okay, I want to get right here. And this is the reason why we have the pistol. If I'm on point, I will get 2 headshots. Nope. Really? No? Okay. Back up. So that's it for this level. Once we get to medical, which is the next stage, we don't have to hop anymore. Which is really nice, because my legs are killing me at this point. But there's one last trick to get around the final cutscene here. If you just shock the door, it activates the trigger. I don't know why. One of the devs explained it at some point is a leftover bug that they had discovered and they just left in. But there's no other door like that in the game. So if you play this game one time through, after you reset, like from desktop, this pattern's always the same. So as long as I reset my entire game every time I do a run, that will always be the same. It's pretty nice. Oh, pull that. Medical is one of the harder levels in the game at the moment. Just because there's so many little tricks you have to do. Yeah, no more hoppy hoppy. So for this level we need to go pick up Incinerate from Internal Flame, and then we need to get Telekinesis from Daddy Dental. Don't ask me why dentists needed telekinesis plasmid, but they do. Right, so now we have Incinerate. I really don't need to kill any splicers, but they'll get in the way later on, so if I can take out a couple, now is a good chance. We used to leave this guy alive because he gave us a special item, but we don't really need that anymore. And it's the reason I'm playing on high FPS, which we'll get to in just a moment. But we got telekinesis. Okay. You're dead. I just don't want any splicers to follow me down this hallway. Okay, cool. So up here there's a trigger for a Vita Chamber that keeps you in the area. What I want to do is get past that trigger. So I'm going to stand on this box. There we go. I'm going to do a quick save just in case I don't get it. I'm going to jump and grab the box. Yeah, it's not high enough. And the higher the FPS you have, the better. So that's the Vita Chamber right there I'm trying to avoid. There we go. So now when I die, I'll go back to where I got telekinesis. Okay. If you hit that bot, you open the gate early, which is nice. Saves a little bit of time. The same up here, if you hit Steinman early, it'll open the doors, so. Let's see if I can get this throw. There we go. Start taking some damage, because I need to die after I kill him. Alright, so we're going to kill him, grab the key, and then kill ourselves. You can take damage pretty quickly by stacking Incinerate on the floor. Like, every Incinerate you lay down, I think you can have up to 5 at one time. They'll all do damage, and on easy, you just really need 2 if you want to die really, really fast. So I need to die in this corner. This corner, for whatever reason, is also going to send me back to a different Vita Chamber. So now we're back at the beginning of the level, which is also the end of the level. Now that I have the key, I can just go ahead and leave. The really, really nice feature about Bioshock is, more often than not, they put the exit to the level right at the beginning of the level, which means you can do some weird stuff. So now we're in Neptune's Bounty, which doesn't have too many tricks to it, but it does introduce us to dialogue skipping. Just a little weird. I'll try to explain it the best I can, but it gets a little complicated. Okay. So I picked up a diary message off the floor. Which just gives you like extra dialogue that you can learn about the game. Which you can use that to overlap NPC dialogue, which is known as radio messages. And you can essentially just skip any NPC dialogue you want. They also have different properties, which I'll get into in just a little bit. Don't need to get that advanced quite yet. But we just need to wait for this place to run away. Okay. Alright, so I don't want to skip this dialogue until the goal pops up, because then that door won't open. So as soon as that gives it to me, I'll open the door. And that becomes a pretty big staple in the run, just to skip NPC dialogue. But just like that one, you can like soft lock the game, or get into some really weird situations if you skip the wrong messages. So now we need to grab the camera and take 3 sexy photos. I'm not too worried about the alarm here, because even if you get caught, the bots will not catch up to you until the alarm's over with. Just because of where you are in the level. Grab the camera, grab one of her sexy photos. I also want to be managing my health, because I need to die on my return trip. I should be fine with this amount of health. It's always better to have too much health than too little. Oh, there's a spider splicer. For these two, the game assumes that you don't know the spider splicers are going to be right behind the door. So it shows it to you, and then they run away, and you're supposed to chase them. But because you know they're there, you can just take the photo and keep going. Which is kind of nice. Saves us the hassle. Okay. I don't want to die until I get back to the second set of stairs, which they just kind of set up my health perfectly for me. So that's the first set. Here's the second. It's going to take us back to Fontaine Fisheries. And you're going to notice the grenade launcher on the right. You don't want to pick that up now, because you have to give up your weapons in just a moment. I'm going to skip this. If you give up the grenade launcher, and then get it back later, you actually end up with less grenades as ammo. So it's better just to save it and pick it up after. Skip all this dialogue too. Sometimes it doesn't want to skip. There we go. I also forgot to mention that telekinesis is extremely broken in terms of damage. It's supposed to be a boss fight of sorts, and you just one-shot them. Every splicer will die at a one-shot of telekinesis, as long as it's a big item, like a corpse, or a trash can, anything of relative size. We're going to grab grenade launcher damage increase there, just for helping out with the fight later on. Melt this ice. And we're out of Neptune's Bounty. Time to get back to broken stuff. Neptune's Bounty, I think, is the only level without a sizable skip in it at the moment. You just kind of do things fast. Oh, well. Proving Grounds, I guess, doesn't really have anything either. A downside of playing at high FPS is this ramp just doesn't want to work. Like, you can't walk up it. So I have to jump up it and keep jumping to carry momentum throughout. Otherwise, it's, like, actually impossible to walk up that ramp. You're supposed to watch another cutscene here, but as you can already tell, it's probably not going to happen. So you just hit the switch and then walk out the door. Or walk out of the room, rather. Can't really walk out of a door. Alright, so time for advanced dialogue skipping 101. While there's NPC dialogue in the area, the level will not end, because it wants you to hear the rest of the story. But if you play a diary message that you've picked up, the level will end instantly, because it doesn't care about those. So if you want a level to end instantly, you play a diary message. If you want to prolong a level, like, being loaded in, then you play a radio message. So you can actually start the transition to another area, and then just keep radio messages playing forever, and you won't transition until it's finished. Which you can probably already tell is going to be in the run. So we're going to use the camera again. We're going to get a pretty useful tonic here. Sometimes you get off the first splicer if you take really nice photos. Nope. Need one more. So I'll just get off another one. Grab a box of taters. Just going to need these. Taters make you big and strong. So first we need to take our last photo. I get you Sports Boost 1. There is a Sports Boost 2, but we're not going to get it. Sports Boost in general gives you increased movement speed and weapon swing speed, so like your wrench, you can swing it faster. Sports Boost 2 doesn't really justify how long it takes to get, but I'm going to drop this box right here. So to my left, there is a trigger that activates... Okay, this box doesn't want to actually do anything. If I look at it, or if I run into it, it'll close the door to Fort Frolic. But if you jump over it, then you're fine. So that's the trigger activating and the door closing. To unlock that door, if you hit the trigger or look at it, you have to go through the entirety of Arcadia, the first half. Then you have to go through Farmer's Market. Then you have to come back to Arcadia to finish up the second half and do a really, really obnoxiously long fight. And then you can finally leave. So that saves about 15 minutes. This is Fort Frolic. This is about all you're going to see of Fort Frolic. So they put really high invisible walls in this area, but you can just fling on top of them. And hey, look at that. Bathysphere's gone. Oh no, what will you do? Alright, you can just still find the switch. The lever to end the game is still hard-coded in there, because I guess they didn't want to have to deal with taking that out and putting it back in. So if you can find it, then you can use it. I'm going to go for something I really shouldn't. It saves about 2 seconds optimally. And it's really not worth going for, because it's actually kind of tricky. So I need this trash can to stop moving. Okay. So the T-junctions underwater, they don't have collision on the top. The normal sections do. So anytime there's a T-junction, you can get out of bounds. It's just not useful anywhere. Like I said, optimally that saves about 2 seconds. This body has a very nice message on it that we need to listen to, but you can just listen to it and skip it instantly, and it still triggers it. That opens this door over here. So we have a few seconds to just loot the bodies. Okay. So Hephaestus is actually really difficult to do well. There's a lot of parts to it. Splicers like to follow you into this tunnel, so putting down Incinerate damages them, and then they just lose interest. For the upcoming quest, I need to kill 2 of the big daddies in the area to get certain parts out of their armor. So I'm just going to take out the one up there. And there's going to be one in this area. If he's right here, that's the best spawn. Off to the right's decent. Down here is not too bad. Okay, so he's dead. Because we just need what's inside the corpse of the Big Daddy, and not anything to do with Adam, we don't need to interact with the little sisters, so we just kind of leave them there. Okay. So I need to skip that dialogue to get the quest. Hey. Will you get out of my way? Get out of here. So I actually picked up an auto hack tool a while ago, back in Neptune's Bounty, I forgot to mention. So you can just go ahead and use that here. So now we have 2 of the wire clusters we need for the bomb, and the nitroglycerin, which we just grabbed. There's the 3rd wire cluster. Also want to move this one of the ionic gels. So I have one more wire cluster and one more gel to get. Last wire cluster is way back here where we started. Some lag spike there. Okay. This is the most convenient Vita chamber in the game. It puts us like right in the middle of the map. So useful. And the last gel we need is over here. Hey, there it is. So now we have everything we need for the bomb. These guys are still in the way. Just throw a body at them, I'll kill them instantly. I'm gonna take a little bit of damage, not too much. So now I'm dead. Because who doesn't like to be dead? Right. This is the most annoying thing to do in the game. Oh, well, gotta do old school strats now. I accidentally picked it up, so I thought I got it. This is actually really annoying to do because I have higher FPS. Okay. Doing this allows you just basically to get out of bounds and jump through the core instead of having to raise up this platform. So you place the bomb, then you die again to get back where you need to go. Beginning of this level is also the exit, so when you go back this way. This level is essentially just walk somewhere, death warp back, walk somewhere, death warp back. It's like 5 times. So the next level is going to get a little bit complicated. These people will get out of my way. Thank you. I'll try to explain this the best I can, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, my keyboard didn't want to let me move over. So as I mentioned before, if we start the transition to a different area and then we play a radio message, it's going to prolong it, which is the opposite of what we just did there. So I'm going to wait for this to open. I'm going to make sure a radio message is playing. Interact with this door. That's going to start the transition back to Hephaestus. I'm going to play a little bit of this area by jumping over this invisible wall. Nope, okay. There we go. So essentially I just need to make it to where the cutscene's supposed to start. I also need to skip past some of this dialogue. but it has to be all in radio messages. Because once we get here, it's finally going to clear those radio messages and send us back to Hephaestus, essentially skipping that part of the cutscene. You can do this again to skip the second half, but there's a slightly faster way to do that, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to go back to RCC. We're going to run back to Andrew Ryan, but we're going to pick something up along the way. I picked the napalm, because it's about the only useful item you can use in this area. I think the toolbox you can use as well, but napalm's a slightly better option. So unfortunately, once you start the Andrew Ryan cutscene, this gate falls down, but it almost feels intentional that they left a giant gap above it. So we're going to stand on top of the napalm. You may already see where this is going, and with a good enough fling, you can just jump right over the door. And here you can just save and load. And doing that lets you skip the second half of the cutscene.
Would you kindly? Powerful phrase.
We still have to let him say his dialogue.
Would you kindly?
So we still get this flashback. But even doing this, sitting through the flashback, this part's really loud. It's still faster than setting up a warp to Hephaestus and back. So I'm going to skip 2 dialogue messages and pass it this. He's going to walk through the wall. Because, why not? And that's all of RCC. Oh, I got the completed EMP bomb glitch. Every now and then, messages just get glitched out and stay on the screen forever. Or they flash on and off the screen forever. So the game's going to constantly tell me to pick up the completed EMP bomb, which is something we did back in Hephaestus. It got bugged out. Yeah, so pick up the completed EMP bomb. I'm gonna take some stuff from the orphans here, like their allowance and candy. Oop, nope. There we go. Get this bear out of this chair. Bears can't sit in chairs. Silly.
Come with me.
So I just found this quite recently, like in the past couple months, but you can actually move this bench by running into it. I don't know why, or why I never found it before, but yeah, you can just push it down the steps if you get really lucky.
Who's he?
Also bear skip.
He's here to help us.
No. If you land on the bear just right, you can jump on top of the little sister. Just stand there. We're going to use the same glitch we did in RCC here. We're going to set the game in a state of trying to transition to the next map, because it's right here. So I'm going to activate the door to Apollo Square. And we're going to go do what we need to do in this level, and then we'll let the game warp us there instead of walking back.
Would you kindly might have had something to do with
Alright, so we need to pick up this diary. But I can't let the diary just play out, because then it'll warp me back to Apollo Square. So I need to skip it all in... I need to play it, then skip it while staying in the menu. Also, this Big Daddy's in a bad spot. We auto-hack the other door, but you can't auto-hack that one. Which is kind of weird. Because they're both required doors to open.
I never knew what Lot 192 was for, but Suchang was doing something in secret. On this, I keep my eye.
But it didn't take too long to enter. The reason I destroy that camera is because if it spots you, the door will lock until the alarm's done. And you can either wait the 60 seconds or use money that you've picked up to buy off the alarm. But it's too risky, so I'm not gonna risk it. Alright. So now we've done everything we need to here, we can just go ahead and warp. Why not? I'd have to walk all the way back to the beginning of the level if we didn't do that. These plasmids are not because of the glitches we're doing, they're just results of the storyline. Once you pick up that lot 192, it starts throwing random plasmids at you. So, until we get the second lot 192 in this area, we're gonna have Winter Blast 3, and then... what's the other one called? Like Target Dummy, I think? Maybe it's Bioshock 2. It's not really important. But I want to set up another Death Warp. Why not? Death Warps are fun. Oh, it is Target Dummy. Look at that. Nice. I'm so smart. It's almost like I played this game yesterday. One more. There we go. Once I pick up this lot 192, you can't actually take any more damage for a little bit. So I just walk back here, and that seems to be the right timing. I'm gonna take this bike. So I've always wanted a bike. Oh, hello. Okay. Don't really need to kill those guys, but it helps. So I need to jump in here. I'm gonna fall down. Saves taking the elevator. That's like the main reason people start running this game on easy, because you can't make that fall on normal or hard. That's a problem they were running into when they were still doing segmented runs of this game back in the day, is that they couldn't find a way down that elevator shaft without dying. Game's still telling us to pick up that bomb, and we better do it. Point Prometheus is home to probably the most infamous skip in this game for anyone that's watched a run. This is Last Chance Kid skip. If I mess it up a whole bunch, you'll hear Last Chance Kid like 1,000 times. If I get it first try, you really won't even notice it. This trick is really difficult to explain, like, technically, so I'm going to simplify it a bunch. Essentially, there's two triggers. There's one on the floor and one you have to look at, and you want to hit them in the opposite order you're supposed to, which I just did. So you get through the door without getting stuck, and then you just load in the next map. So, that was easy. Alright, time to get us a little sister. This escort mission is really, really awful. It's like 7 minutes of doing nothing. You can manipulate her to run the entire way, but you can also really mess it up and she'll end up walking. And if she walks, you just lose a bunch of time for no reason.
You must protect them.
So if I see her walking at all, it's bad. There's moments like right after the door opens where she'll walk for like 2 steps. That's not a problem. It's if she walks for like an entire section, which she should be fine. And if she's really nice, she'll get a present. Okay.
Look, Mr. Bubbles.
So we're gonna skip this dialogue to make her start harvesting faster. Splicers will either spawn on the left or right side of the tunnel. It's completely random every time. Can't really predict it. But you can always tell when the last one spawns, because the last one will be a spider splicer. And that's the same for all 3 fights. You fight Leadhead and Thuggish splicers. And then Spider will be the last one. So there's the spider. Got her. So we're done with this one. You'll see her like kind of stutter every now and then. That's because she's hitting checkpoints on the floor that she has to hit. That's the reason why we can't skip this area. It's because there's like an entire line of checkpoints that she has to hit before she can move on. And although you can make her run to you and like run further ahead, she won't actually activate those checkpoints. She has to be in like a perfectly normal state to trigger them. It's really obnoxious. Okay. There's the spider. Alright, we're done here. Yeah, so telekinesis is just broken to all hell. Let's try to see if I could show off where one of those points was. There's a really obvious, like right there where she stopped to turn the corner. That was the checkpoint she needed to hit. Some of them are very obvious, some of them aren't. Running. There's a splicer on the ceiling. Oop. Okay. You have to take out the splicer in the ceiling, the turret there, and then there's a splicer over there that spawns after the fight that you can just go ahead and take care of. So I'm going to take care of them. Splicers can actually get stuck on some of these corners. Okay, that's another leadhead. Oh. That wasn't too good. Alright. So she wasn't too bad, as long as she runs for the next little bit. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Time to fight the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah. Alright, he's dead. So there's a checkpoint right here. That one's really obvious to see. So she was nice. We'll get her a little present. So she's just gonna open the door and keep running, so we can come over here and grab her a little present. Alright, her very own pet cat. Look at that. We'll name this cat Shadex. Oop, I didn't mean to hit Shadex, I'm sorry. Nobody call PETA, we're good. No, 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 you need to take your pet. You need to take Shadex. There you go. Take him with you. Not sure what she's doing to him, but... That's all I've proven grounds. Time to take on the final boss. So the game makes a save at the beginning of the elevator, and then it makes another save at the top of the elevator. I'm not sure why. One of them's just an autosave, and the other one's an actual hard save. So if you run this game a bunch and finish it, you'll end up with like 1,000 Fontaine saves that you have to go back through and clear out. It's really annoying. Also, I forgot to show off, if you switch through the plasmids really fast, you actually break the sound engine. It's really dumb. But yeah, we're just gonna fight Fontaine here. Don't worry, he's really easy.
Good money for you. This is what I get.
Alright, time's coming up. In just a second. Alright, one last shot. And time. There we go. Yay! Because we don't interact with any of the little sisters at all throughout the game, it just gives us the good ending by default. So it doesn't know what else to do.
Showed you what you was, what you was capable of. Even that life you thought you had, that was something I dreamed up and had tattooed inside your head.
So I guess I'll let this play out unless
I know what it is. And now,
people want me to cut it. But they get pretty graphic. They are not nice little sisters at all. Like it's pretty brutal.
They offered you this city. And you refused it. And what did you do instead? What I've come to expect of you. You saved them. You gave them the one thing that was stolen from them. A chance. A chance to learn. To find love. To live. And in the end, what was your reward? You never said. But I think I know. A family.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, so there's Bioshock for you. Oh, we made it to the credits even faster. Why didn't I just do that for the whole run? Look at that. Oh. There you guys go. There's Bioshock. And if you like that run, you'll see it again at AGDQ coming up, or SGDQ rather. And people can just cut me whenever.
Oh.